Alright, here we are. Today I hit level 100 in Diablo 4, and I'm using the Barbarian. I just kind of wanted to go over the gear I found and kind of how I set it up. So, let's just start with the helmet. I kind of prioritize getting cooldown reduction. I got max life on this one. Basic skills is nice just to fill fury if you need to. And the disobedience aspect. Gaining 50% armor is amazing. Alright. Chest piece. I kind of mainly was going for damage reduction and as much of it as I could get. And just stacking it. And you got the life on there too. And I really like the barrier. I'm not sure it's necessary, but it's nice to have. Alright, the gloves. Again, strength. I got attack speed. I don't think attack speed affects whirlwind, but it's good for filling fury. It makes filling your fury feel better when you have to use your basic attack. You want it to feel good and fast. Critical strike chance, super important. Of course, for whirlwinds, you gotta have those ranks. Or at least I felt like I wanted them. Attacking enemies with basic skill increases the damage of your next core skill. It seems like it's doing something. More strength. This is the leggings. Put as much damage reduction on the leggings and the chest piece as possible, is what I was finding. Again, just damage reduction for bleeding enemies nearby. Pretty crucial, I think. I mean, that's 20%. Up to 20%. Boots. Movement speed. Fury cost reduction is great. The whirlwind pulls enemies towards you is also pretty great. It doesn't proc as much as you want it to, but it does proc. And with these, I was stuck with all stats. I don't think that's terrible. It's a perfect roll of all stat. In berserking duration, I tried to kind of prioritize that on gear because I feel like I want to be berserking all the time. Of course, more strength. Core skill damage is good. Bleeding damage is good because I'm constantly making things bleed with the whirlwind. And there's the big one, vulnerable damage. I don't know if it's every class and every build, but vulnerable damage seems to be crucial. So I've kind of built this around proccing and just putting out as much vulnerable damage as I can. I put the attack speed, basic attack speed aspect on this one. I doubt most people probably would because it's kind of a waste, but I really want to attack faster if I have to. And also I'm using these two swords for whirlwind. So that's how I have it set up. And to be forward, I have not looked at other people's builds, and I've just kind of been experimenting and seeing what I can make work. It's been a lot of fun doing it that way. Eventually I'm gonna be digging into it deeper and doing more research and seeing what other people have come up with. It looks like I got more strength, critical damage, damage close to enemies. These are all things you're going to want to stack. What you'd really want to see on here is some vulnerable damage, but this sword does not have that. On the alternative, this sword does, and it's a decent roll. It's not real great, actually, but it's got some more critical strike damage and core skill damage and more strength. So it's looking... This is a decent weapon, I think. I'm not, you know... This character's not totally min-maxed out, but... Again, vulnerable damage, core skill damage, strength. The stunned enemies one, I just couldn't re-roll it, essentially. So, I was stuck with it. Okay. This one might be kind of interesting. It's got a perfect vulnerable roll, perfect crit strike chance roll. So this ring panned out to be a pretty decent ring, I think, and probably one I'll keep around. Again, pretty much the same thing going on here with the rings. And I have Fury regeneration while berserking. It's not very much, but it kind of helps to, like, fill your bar before you go into a fight, I guess. Like, you can just break objects and gain berserk, and then use your war cry, and you'll just gain fury like crazy. And I put my crit strike chance on here. I believe it would be a lot better on the two-handed weapon, because it would be another 50% more effective, but I traded some stuff, you know, that you gotta make some sacrifices in this game, so. But again, this is kind of straightforward. Fury cost reduction, damage reduction while fortified. I think I was probably just stuck with that one. Cooldown reduction, of course, that's a great one. So that's pretty much it for the gear. Let's take a quick look at abilities. I don't want to dig into the Paragon board too much because it's gonna be suboptimal, probably. Like, you're not gonna want to base your build around this way this is set up. And I'm actually gonna change it up here shortly, but I'm thinking I might spec into Hammer the Ancients, so I can possibly have a better time killing Uber Lilith. But anyway, let's take a look at the skills just to take a peek. I got one into Lunging Strike, and then I just follow it up with the Combat Lunging Strike for more berserking. I got, of course, the Whirlwind and the Furious Whirlwind, just so it causes some bleeding. The bleeding's kind of a utility as well, because then you can have the damage to bleeding enemies and a lot of different modifiers that are nice. I got Rallying Cry. That's what I meant earlier, Rallying Cry, not War Cry. To resource regeneration. Okay. Then you got War Cry. And War Cry is pretty great. Just that damage boost is really nice. I also grabbed these just because the shouts don't last very long. And since I'm only running 2 shouts, I don't have the benefit of the cooldown reductions that some of the other builds probably have, I'm imagining. Because I've seen it in the... well, anyway. Pit Fighter. more damage, critical strikes. This just helps finish off enemies that are below 30%, 35%. So, it's, yeah, it's there. And then I'm running Steel Grass. I don't know if anyone else is, but it allows you to proc Vulnerable, and it allows you to proc Berserking, which is fucking great. It's, it just makes it convenient, I would say. So, I'm also running Hamstring, Cut to the Bone. Really good, really good. Especially since most of the enemies I'm fighting are bleeding and vulnerable, so that's fucking great. Perfect. Okay, down the tree. You know, it's... you can take it or leave it, some of these. I couldn't find anything better than the Wrath of the Berserker. Once I hit about level 80, I think I kind of narrowed my focus into Whirlwind. And I can post a video of like what I was running prior to Whirlwind, and it was kind of interesting. I had all the uniques on, basically. So I was running the Steel Grass and Death Blow and Whirlwind. So it was fun. Death Blow is kind of fun. And Unbridled Rage. I'm sure probably everyone is running it. So that's kind of my build in a nutshell. And going forward, like I said, I'm going to probably spec into Hammer of the Ancients and give that a try, because, you know, I've played up to level 100 with Whirlwind, and I'm just kind of getting burnt out on spinning around the screen like a crazy person, so... let me know what I could do to change my build if you guys know, and I hope you're enjoying the game. Have fun and stay safe, my friends.